guys, thank you for coming today. In case you didn't know, my name's Auburn, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about herbal medication. Now, you're wondering why you're here. Well, you're personnel of a hospital. You either work there or you volunteer there. So, you see prescription medication in use, and you can see the side effects. You guys would be perfect to talk to about herbal medication. Now, a little fun fact is, the word drug comes from the Dutch word droog, and that's spelled D-R-O-O-G, and it means dry or too dry. And that's in reference to how ancient healers and physicians would dry their plants and use them as medications. Now, did you know that 1/2 of medical schools now offer courses on alternative medication, and that includes the study of plants? We all know prescription drugs are strong. They're effective, but there are many side effects, and they're very, very addictive, and that's becoming a problem today. They're questionable toxins that we put in our bodies. Now, herbs are natural. They're safer, healthier, and they're so much cheaper. Personally, for me, I don't like taking medicine. I don't like taking it in pill form, and I don't like taking it in liquid form. I don't like feeling weird or having to worry about how my body's going to affect this or what I can and can't do. A noted herbalist named James A. Duke once stated, "If the government really wants to improve Americans' health, they should mandate independent research to prove that many herbs are competitive with pharmaceuticals." He also said, "Herbs are orders of magnitude safer, and they're also cheaper." Herbal medicine is a great substitute for the traditional medicine of the West, and that's because herbs are found everywhere. You can get them all over, while the Western traditional medicine is only focused on one place of study. Now today, I'll be describing 5 different herbs that I thought were interesting and what they do, interactions of herbs and medicines, and lastly, the money. Of course, we all want to know what the difference between prescription drugs and herbs are. Herbs and spices have healing powers. They also have disease preventative effects, and the best way to take advantage of this is by eating them. For example, turmeric. It's the root of the curcuma longa, which is a leafy plant in the ginger family. It's used in the curry in India. It is shown that it could be the result of elderly having the lowest rates of Alzheimer's in the world. Another herb is called the St. John's wort. It's a yellow flower-like plant. It produces mainly biologically active substances. 2 within the greatest medical activity are hyperforin and hypersin. Now this herb relieves PMS symptoms and improves symptoms of OCD. The saw palmetto herb is a plant, and the ripe fruit is used to reduce symptoms of benign prostatic hyperplasia. A study published in the American Physicians in 2003 showed efficiency similar to that of medications like finasteride, which it was even tolerated better. Cilantro helps lower cardiovascular events and prostatic cancer. It also increases the immunity of the flu and colds. It is very beneficial to diabetics as well. Ginger, which is also known as the Smartman's aspirin, is a natural blood thinner. It's commonly used as a digestive aid and very helpful for treating nausea due to motion sickness or even medications like codeine or morphine. Now, even though herbs have many great benefits, you always want to be careful using them. You don't want to mix herbs with prescriptions that you are taking, at least certain ones. When putting anything in our body, we always want to take caution, and it's the same with herbs. Even though they're safer, there are some side effects that could happen when you mix them with prescriptions. You never want to take an herb that mimics a medication that you are already taking. You want to stay away from herbs that have the same metabolisms of medications. If you take a herb that has the same metabolism as a medication you're already taking, it results in higher medication levels. It also increases the toxicity. For example, you never want to take the herb Valorin with a sedative or a medication that makes you sleepy. If you do, it prolongs your sedation, and that's not good. Another example is you don't want to take ginger with warfarin. These are both blood thinners and could cause bleeding everywhere, a lot of bleeding. Now, you always want to be aware of the medications you're taking, especially if you want to consider taking an herb with it. Lastly, it's time to talk about money that is spent on prescriptions compared to spent on herbs. It's no secret, herbs cost way less than prescription medication. They're way easier to get, especially since you can get them at a grocery store or a Whole Food store, even a drugstore. And you don't even have to see a doctor to go get it. You don't need a prescription. You don't have to make time for appointments. You can just leave your house, go to a grocery store, and pick it up. An example of a costly med, well known, is Celebrex. It is used for arthritis, but it costs $4 a day. Now, you could use the supplement ginger, also used for arthritis, and it only costs 38 cents a day. That's so much cheaper. Another example would be medication for depression. Typically, prescription medication for depression costs $30 to $200 a month. Why spend that much money when you could go to Walmart or Target and only spend $2 to $10 for lavender? It doesn't make sense. A study in 2001 showed that 1 in 4 senior citizens reported to skipping doses and even leaving prescriptions unfilled just because simply they were just too expensive and they didn't want to spend the money on it. Now, it is estimated that $2 billion is spent per year on prescription drugs, while only $20 billion is spent on herbs per year. A study in 2005 alone, pharmaceutical companies spent $51.3 billion on drugs, drug discovery, and drug development. Now, herbs, they don't get the big money because they can't be patented for financial payoff the way pharmaceuticals can. Herbs are a great alternative if you're worried about money. They have many benefits, you just always want to be careful mixing your herbs with prescriptions. Herbal medication is a great substitution for the traditional medicine of the West, simply because they're easier to get. They come from all over, while the medicine from the West is specifically for only one place. It's one study in one place. Before I end my speech today, I want to leave you with a quote from T.A. Edison that I think fits perfectly with this speech. Until man duplicates a blade of grass, nature can laugh at his so-called scientific knowledge. Remedies from chemicals will never stand in favor compared with the products of nature, the final results of the rays of the sun, the mother of all life. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope I did a good job at informing you guys about herbal medication.